How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins, Media Corner, back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on the 2024 animated sci-fi action adventure drama film, and that is The Wild Robots. This is the latest film from DreamWorks Animation. This is also their third film to come out this year after Orion and the Dark and Kung Fu Panda 4. And this film was written and directed by Chris Sanders, who we all know him for being the writer of various animated classics from Disney, which include Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, and Mulan. And of course, we all know him for being the director of various animated films, which include Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, and The Croods, which those last few films I just mentioned were from DreamWorks Animation. And so he has now returned to that studio to make a new film for their film library, which is this film. And this is also based off the book of the same name as well. And in this film, we follow a service robot named Roz, voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, who gets shipwrecked on an uninhabited island, and she must adapt her surroundings and also build relationships to the local wildlife, and also become an adoptive mother to this orphan goose named Brightbill, voiced by Kid Connor. So that's pretty much the story of The Wild Robot. Now, when it comes to DreamWorks animation films, there are two different sides to them of the way I feel with their movies. There's one side to them that I feel really intrigued with and yet I absolutely love, with films such as like How to Train Your Dragon and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And there's another side to them that is like, yeah, that's not really for me, with films such as Trolls and The Boss Baby and some of the other films that don't really appeal to me that much. But when I saw the trailers for this movie, I was really intrigued to check this one out, and yeah, they really surprised me for the way this film was going to go for here. And I never read the book that this film is based off, so I went to this film knowing nothing about the book. And I did hear a few early buzz around this whole movie here, and I was really surprised what people were saying about this movie. And I was like, really? Is it that good here? I gotta see for myself here. And I did check out this movie the next day after it was released in my area, which it came out the same day as Smile 2 did, which I saw that film first. And I saw this movie the next day at my job for free, and it was in a really packed screening with a lot of adults and children in the screen that I was in. And after watching this whole movie here, I couldn't agree more with everyone what they've already said about this movie here, because this movie is an absolute masterpiece, and heck, I would even say this is definitely one of DreamWorks Animation's best work here they've done since How to Train Your Dragon here. The storytelling here for this movie I thought was absolutely breathtaking and yet so engaging through the majority of this movie, where it's basically being told from the perspective of a robot and some animals. And I loved how the movie handles with the character of Roz, where she's trying to figure out like who she's supposed to be when she crash lands on this island, and she's also trying to figure out like why she's in the forest, as well as figuring out that she has a task to do, as well as we see her encounter a bunch of these different types of animals that she sees in the forest. And once in a while in this movie, we see her following in their footsteps once in a while in order to survive the wildlife, which I thought all that was really well captivated and yet so intriguing as well. And yet the film goes much more deep later down the line in the film when we see Roz attempting to become a mother to this orphan baby goose that she finds in the film, whom she names Brightbill, which I thought those moments were genuinely so touching, and yet it was so endearing as well at the same time when we see Roz helping this goose out on how to eat, swim, and fly, which I thought, oh, that was beautifully well captivating here. And I love the overall lesson that the film explores here, which is basically about parenting, which those moments were generally so touching. Yeah, I even did tear up when I was watching the film here. Like, I couldn't stop crying my eyes out when I was watching this movie. And there's even a powerful moment in this film here, which is an action sequence, which I thought that scene was really powerful to watch. And as for its humor that the film plays off here, it was so smart here with the way it was played off here when it comes to the overall humor the film represents here, which all those moments were genuinely so funny, yet I just couldn't stop laughing so hard. And I found all these characters here in this movie to be so investing, and yeah, I found myself really connected with the character of Roz, which I did feel really bad for once when after she crash lands on this island, when she encounters these animals in the film here, because at the very start these animals just see her as a threat, but once she goes more later on in the film here, I found it to be all really captivating here. And as for all these animals that we do see in the film here, I found myself really connected with all of them, especially this fox character named Ving, who's voiced by Pedro Pascal, which I really like this character here. It was just really funny in the movie here. And yeah, I found myself really connected with him through the majority of this film here. And as for its animation here, it is, of course, absolutely incredible here, from the amount of detail that's been put into this film here, from its overall style that Chris Sanders was able to put out with this movie here, which I thought he did a fantastic job of bringing that to life here for this movie here. And as for the voice work itself here, like, you've got a big cast of talented actors here. Like, you've got Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, Kit Connor, Catherine O'Hara, Bill Nighy, Matt Berry, Mark Hamill, Stephanie Sue, and Ving Rhames. They were all fantastic in the movie, and to make all these characters feel so connected through the majority of this movie here. And in the end, guys, The Wild Robot, this movie is undeniably an absolute masterpiece here from DreamWorks Animation here. And as I said, it's definitely one of the best works since How to Train Your Dragon here. And if you're a huge fan of DreamWorks Animation, or you're a fan of like the book that this film's based off, or you're a fan of director Chris Sanderson's like Lilo and Stitch or How to Train Your Dragon, this is definitely a great treat to check out for yourself here. So that's pretty much all to say about The Wild Robot. I'm gonna give The Wild Robot 5 out of 5. Yeah, like I said, this movie is just an absolute masterpiece here, and I would even say as well, it's definitely my favorite DreamWorks animation film to come out for this decade so far here as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on The Wild Robot, and let me know what you think of this movie, if you've seen this already, or if you just recently checked this out. Did you absolutely love this movie, or was this not your popcorn treat here? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.